Don't do that. Hey guys, so I feel like this is super official and you're all sat there like, oh my God, what's she gonna say? And I've got to get my notepad, but I promise you, I just want to tell you did an awesome job in October. If you're new to the team, welcome. If you don't know me, this is your introduction. My name is Lauren. I introduced Jana. My voice is going. I've done like some calls today and just killed my voice, as well as live videos and live Instagram videos, and all my job is talking. So bear with me. It comes and it goes. If you guys know me, I'm super loud, I'm super crazy, so I do talk a lot. Therefore, most of the times that you will hear me, I sound like this. But whether you're brand new to the team, whether you've been part of it for a little while, a long while, I know some of you have been like Lindsay and Casey and all those awesome peeps. Welcome. And I'm just going to go through why goal setting is so important and why I sound like a broken record most months, and why I will say things until people start to really embrace it and do it. You know, I look at one of my girls in another team completely, you know, I talk about, you know, meditating, or I call it priming. So I utilize Tony Robbins' priming exercise as a great way to get my day started. And I've literally probably batted on about it for about a year and a half since the first time I did a Tony Robbins course, and she just started doing it. And she's like, oh my God, it's amazing. I'm like, funny that I like implemented it into my day, you know, a year and a half ago, and trying to change things and change my perspective. So, you know, for me, it's just like, I will say this and I will say it and I will say it. And hopefully some of you will cotton on that, you know, I guess in this business especially, it's not rocket science. It's just like follow successful people. You know, Jana's doing an amazing job. So many of your leaders like Casey and Lindsay and Catherine and Steph, some of those people that have been part of it for so long are doing awesome things. But even some of you that have been part of it for such a short time, like, you know, two massive standouts I got to meet in Canberra, which was amazing, was Rachel and Alex. You know, Rachel introduced Alex, Lindsay introduced Rachel. You know, obviously Rachel and Alex know each other, but not really well, but Lindsay didn't know Rachel. And it's like, you know, you guys are doing some amazing things. And I guess success creates more success, and success loves curiosity. And so honestly, the people in the team, you know, whether they're in my whole team, whether they're in your direct team, if you find people that are doing successful things that are where you want to be, it's not like try and beat them down. That's not what our industry is about. It's like, go and ask them, and I bet you that they'll tell you, right, of what they're doing and how they're creating success. And I promise you, it's just going to be things that I'm going to cover tonight. And so many times something might not be working, and we want to veer off course. I know I get like that. It's like called bright, shiny object syndrome. And I'm an Aquarius. If you know anything about star signs, I'm the biggest air sign you'll ever meet. I'm like an airhead, and I'm like, oh, look at that, bright, shiny object. But it's just like, it's not what you can do, you know, 1,000 things once each. It's about doing one thing 1,000 times until you gain success. And I'm not meaning that if it's broke, you know, don't fix it. But, you know, it might be just tweaking things, certain verbiage, certain ways you do things, the amount of people you're talking to, all of that. But before we do any of the how-to in this business, I want to talk about some key elements that are going to help you create success. Again, whether you're brand new to the team or whether you've been in it, you know, you can't manage what you don't measure. So if you're not setting goals anywhere in life, you know, how can you ever measure it to know if you're close to where you want to be? So first of all, in this business, my guess is that you had an upline call, you know, with the person that directly introduced you, and maybe Jana or maybe another leader, and you were asked a series of questions. Now, these questions are to get to know you and what you want. How can I remove my Facebook notifications? Okay. Sorry, they were popping up. They distract me. So how, like, the series of questions you would have asked is getting to know you and what you want from it. So, you know, I have goals in this business. Jana has goals. You know, Adam Westwick has goals. Linda has goals. All of us have goals. They're very different. Okay, so I have no expectation of what you guys want to achieve, and nor should you ever have an expectation of your team. okay, is what do you specifically want from this? And that's why we ask those series of questions. And you're like, you trying to make me a robot? No, it's just a great script to be able to follow, to then implement, to teach your team. If I can teach my niece how to do this business, she's 10, right? She's quite cluey. So, but if I can teach her, then, you know, that's saying that this business is simple enough for anyone to do, because you don't need to be an expert, right? So being able to ask those series of questions, and one of those questions would be like, if this could be what you want it to be, what would you want? So the first is understanding that you need a why, and your why should be selfish. Okay, your why should be what you want, and you should link your why to an emotion. Okay, so your why might be to, you know, and this is very contradictory what I'm about to say. So your why might be to bring your husband home from a FIFO job, but my job is to help you understand what that will give you. Okay, is that more security, more, you know, like having a relationship back? But what is it going to give you, and what is it going to give you emotion-wise? So is it joy? Is it, you know, freedom? Is it, you know, security? Is it abundance? Is it love? What is it? What can you connect to? Because anything that's connected to emotion is you're going to be emotive about it. Okay, and what creates motion? Like motion in action, in terms of action in this business, is emotion. Emotion creates motion. Okay, motion in action in this business. People that don't take action don't have enough emotive drive behind why they want to do it. I wanted to travel. Okay, most of you know that I put a travel picture up like every day. If you see my Facebook, obviously today was Switzerland, right? I call it my soul home. Christmas doesn't feel like Christmas anymore without snow on the ground. And that was enough driving force to be able to make me move in this business and get outside my comfort zone. Because human beings only do things for one or two reasons: to avoid pain or gain pleasure, right? So if you're not gaining pleasure by getting outside your comfort zone and having conversations, right, I love it. But if that doesn't float your boat and doesn't light you up, and, you know, the thought of, you know, putting in extra time, you know, like late at night, I love you all if you are in Victoria or ACT or whatever it is, and you're on here at 9 o'clock at night, like kudos to you. So many people like, no, it's too late, and they have excuses, and maybe you're finding you have excuses, or your team has excuses as to why you're not staying close to the fire and on trainings, why you're not, you know, out there talking to people, why you're not jumping on events and sharing your story, why you're not inviting, why you're not having the conversation. It's like there's not enough emotion around it. There's not enough driving force behind your why. And then I would say further that you don't have a vision bigger than you, which is the next step of the, I guess, puzzle that you need, is vision bigger than yourself, right? So now, you know, it's to be able to do nice things for people in my family, to be able to, you know, like book a trip, you know, for my mum for her birthday, which is tomorrow, and not have to look in my bank account and be like, you know, is there enough money? Do I have to shuffle it around? Right? I can just book a flight for her. You know, it's only to Sydney, but still it's a good $350. But it's just like, you know what? I don't have to look in my bank account. Or it might be, you know, that your rent is covered. You know, that might be the small vision, but what's the big one? Is it to build the family home? Is it, you know, I don't know what it is for you, right? We all have very different visions and goals. Is it to start a charity, feed the hungry, go and do mission work in Africa, right? And you can't, because you're stuck at a job to pay the bills, to pay the rent, to pay the mortgage, and you can't get out and do that. So what's the big vision? What's your why, which should be selfish and should be about you and have an emotion attached to it? And then what's something bigger? Who are you going to impact? Who are the lives that you want to change? Is it mums? Is it helping mums stay home with their children? Is it helping people, you know, get out and travel and explore the world? Is it to be able to help mums homeschool their kids? I don't know. Maybe you have a bigger vision than I do. So for me, it's like, what is that vision, right, that is going to propel you forward and make you get up 9 times when you fall down 8, right? Hands up who's fallen down this business, right? Someone's told them no. They've had a crappy day. They've wanted to quit, right? The amount of times I've called Celine and been like, cancel my franchise. I'm scared she will one day, because I'm having face down moments. So I've called Adam and like, nah. Right, and he lets me have a temper tantrum, and then he's just like, you finished? Right, and I'm like, yep, I'm good. We all have those moments. But if you have a why that's strong enough emotion behind it and attached to it, then you're not going to stay down. You're going to get back up. You're going to prove everyone wrong, and you're going to prove yourself right. You know what? I am worth this, and I am going to do it, and I am going to achieve what I set out to achieve. So they're the first two parts. So my question would be to you is, do you have a why that's really strong? Is there an emotion connected to it? And then is there a big enough vision that's bigger than you, right? Because most of us, will do more for other people than we will do for ourselves. Am I correct? You will do more for your children. You will do more for your husband. You will do more for your parents, more for your family, more for charities, right? We'll help people on the street before we'll help ourselves. And so my question to you is, that's why you have a vision, right? Bigger than yourself. So outside of yourself, what is this going to give you? Or what is it going to give other people? Because that is the true fulfillment in life, right? The art of living is giving. I do 110% agree with that. But you can't have more to give until you have more, right? More abundance, more finances, more love, more self-worth, right? More all of these things, which this business can give you, because it is a self-development course disguised as a business, right? So it can give you all of this, and you can give more love, give more self-worth, give more finances, give more abundance, give more when you have more to give, right? And in this business, you really can grow that. So those are the first two things. And if you don't have a why that's strong enough, you are going to give up. It's a scary thought, right? And I would love to see all of your faces in the next 6, 8, 12 months. But the reality is I won't, right? So don't be a statistic. Don't be a statistic. And that's why I'm going to help you set goals to be able to measure and track things. So I always say, I always relate everything to the fitness world, because that is what I grew up in. That's what I worked in for so long. So clients would come to me and they'd be like, I want to lose weight. And I'm like, 2 kilos or 20 kilos, right? It's going to be a hell of a lot different. And then they would never want to set a goal, right? A goal date. They would never want to time frame it. Why? Because they were so scared of failing. And I know that can be you guys, right? I don't want to say I want to get to SDVF by this date, because what happens if I don't? I promise you, there's enough people judging themselves that they're not worried about you and not getting to your goal and judging you, right? And so many times we're scared of failure, but we're more scared of success because a lot of times we haven't allowed ourselves to feel it, right? We haven't allowed ourselves to succeed because, especially in Australia, what do people do? They want to cut you down. It's called tall poppy syndrome, right? No one can be taller than me, so I'll just go and cut them down. I don't know if you've ever worked in an industry like that, but I have, right? And it's like, don't be too tall. I can't be. I'm only 5'2". But don't be too tall, right? Because I'll come and cut you down. So a lot of times it's actually not fear of failure, we're fear of success, of like, oh my God, if I get to SDVF, what will other people think of me? Will they think, what am I doing? And that's just building belief, which I'll talk about too. But you can't manage something that you cannot measure and track. And so it's like throwing shit at a wall, right? And seeing what sticks. And I promise you, over time, that will take wear and tear on you. Okay, that will take wear and tear on you, on your family, because you're dedicating time and effort and energy into this, and you're not getting where you want to go because you don't know how to get there, and you don't know where you wanted to be in the first place because you never set a goal. So every single month, being able to set goals, right? Being able to set goals around your business. Now, if you're brand new, SDVF, great goal, right? Or if you're heading for SC or qualifying your business, so I want you to write down an acronym. Now, I don't have my whiteboard. I want you to write down an acronym. Okay, it's SMART. S-M-A-R-T. You've probably heard me talk about it a million times before. The S is for specific. I can say that word, right? And there you go. Jana's got an example because she's that type of girl. I can definitely tell you she's probably an earth sign. I think she's a Cancerian, if I can remember correctly. Yes. Right? They love diagrams. They love, right? I'm not going to tell you about earth signs, but right, I love to read signs because I'm like the best air sign there is. I float around. But I apparently am not allowed to blame things on my star sign anymore. I blame it for being late all the time. So SMART. Your first, the S is for specific, okay? So is your goal specific? It needs to be specific. It can't be like, I want to, help 2 people. That's not specific, because if you went and helped 2 strangers on the street, have you achieved your goal? Yes. Right. So you need to be specific. Is it, I like to keep it around promotional levels or club levels or qualifying your business or something in that realm, because that is trackable and measurable, which is the M in SMART, is measurable. Can you measure it? I think that was the lamp. Can you measure it? So I'm just going to leave it. Is it measurable? Is it a measurable goal? Because again, it needs to, you need to be able to track it through the month. You need to be able to like, yep, I'm at 2,000 points. I need 2,000 more to get to SDVF. Hope it doesn't catch fire. Hope not. Now you got me scared. It's good, Lindsay. It's because I'm sitting on the cord. So is it, I want to, that's going to say something long. I can't read it. So is it measurable? So can you measure it? So thinking like, especially if you've got a growing team, I like to think about, definitely my goal, but then having a measurable and specific goal around helping, 2 new team members get to SDVF, right? Or 2 new team members qualify their business. So then I can still help and track and measure their goal as well, right? And then it's about having a conversation with someone to what they want to achieve. Right, and I'll come to that in a minute. So the S is for specific. Do you have a specific goal? And this is not like I make a goal and then I don't make another one until I achieve it, right? Because especially when you get up to the bigger positions like SSC, QNMD, NMD, it's about, definitely you can keep that goal, but it's about tweaking it and keeping on changing it to be able to achieve it, because they're bigger goals, right? It's not something that you can achieve in 1 month unless your name is Brian Marsh. To be able to do that. So the A is for, is it attainable? Because it's all well and good to make serious big goals, but then when you fail or not fail, we don't fail in this business. We either learn and grow or we succeed. It's, if you don't attain it, it can become a bit soul destroying month after month after month after month. Okay, so making sure that it's scary and that you have a stretch goal, but you have a goal that is attainable also. Okay, so I'll come to that in a minute. The R in SMART is for realistic. I skip past it because I hate that word, right? Whoever made anything realistic, right? That's just boring. Life would be boring if everything was realistic. And then T is for time bound. So the only things I really care about is the S, the M, and the T, and the A kind of. So the T is time bound, and that's why I like to make time bound months, monthly goals, okay, to be able to help you achieve. And then I break it down even further. So your specific measurable time framed goal might be to get to SDVF and also help someone get to SDVF, and you want to do it by the end of November, and then you can track and measure it via your VO, via your reports, via your upline, and you can track and measure it together. Okay, when I was starting out, definitely I had a notebook because my VO still scares me sometimes. I know how to do orders, I know how to promote people, I know how to put a franchisee in, I know how to do some other things now, but even though I'm like, if I spend too much time on there, right, it's like a vortex. I just get stuck in it, like trying to figure out what everything is. And that's not a high paying activity. So really just understand that keeping it simple when someone gets started, the better, okay? Really keeping it simple. And I used to track it in a notebook. I used to get my new team member to get a notebook dedicated to Juice Plus, have the points in the front, and then track their way to SDVF and help other people do that. That is the easiest system to follow in the beginning. So you're really tracking, and if you want to help other people get to SDVF, then you're helping them track at the same time. So my specific measurable time frame goal is to get to SDVF, help someone get to SDVF, right, by the end of November, and I can measure it. Do you feel then you're on purpose, right? You're on purpose to then go, okay, now I need a plan. right? Now I need a plan of action, just like me driving from Penrith to AC to Canberra, right? I needed Google Maps. Now I know it's one straight line on the Hume Highway, but it is me. And so I needed a map to get there. Just like any of you have ever needed a map to get around a new city, to get around a new town, right? You want to go on your big screen on the airplane and see where you're flying over, even though it's ocean. You know, when you're going overseas, they show the flight plan like it's a map. It shows you from A to B of where you're going to get. Now, it doesn't mean it's a straight line, right? They might need to take some detours, just like you will in your business, but you have a plan of attack. So then you sit down with your upline once you've got your specific, measurable, time-framed goal, and you sit down with your upline, you make a plan of how you're going to achieve it. But if you don't know why you're here, you don't know the vision behind what you're doing, right? You don't have the mission, then if you don't have the belief, it's very hard. But if you don't have the goal, then what are you doing this for, right? What are you doing this for, and where are you going? And then, like, you honestly, month after month, if you're not focused, it becomes like this is too hard, or life will get in the way. And if this isn't a priority and you don't know where you're going and you don't have the plan of the attack and the map and the goal and the vision and the why, right? They're all pieces of the puzzle. If you don't have all of that, then I promise you, you will allow life to get in the way. You know, life is in the way for Jana at the moment. It's definitely been in the way for me, you know, over the last couple of weeks / months, but I always make this a priority. Definitely isn't always easy. It isn't always rosy, right? Sometimes I'm in my car on a call. You know, it is what it is, but I've never allowed life to take over because I'm on purpose. I've got vision. I've got a mission, and I know why I'm here, right? Nothing will ever take that away from me, and belief will build over time from action taken. But again, emotion creates motion and action in this business. So if you're not in action, is there enough emotive behind what you want? Do you have a goal? Do you have a plan, right, of attack to go out and do this? And then, right, it is just about building belief and the high paying activities. And like some of my favorite mentors will always say, doubt will take you out of action, and action will take you out of doubt. So the moment that you are fearful, the moment that you doubt if you can do this, the moment that you doubt if you can share your story or share the business or, you know, sign someone up, is the moment that you need to take action, because it will kill any part of doubt. You can't be in love and fear at the same time, right? Just like if you're in action and you have a skerrick of doubt. If it's 1%, you're 99% believing, 99% in action, but you have 1% of doubt, that limiting belief, that shitty thought, it'll kill it. It'll kill it all, right? So it is about continuously sowing into yourself. You know, the people that I have to give kudos to, obviously Jana for really growing in herself, but Lindsay, you know, she's thrown herself into personal development. Catherine Peachy is perfect example of like a different woman. She went and did, you know, Mojo Master, obviously. I'm not the same person that I was 3 years ago. Jesus, I wouldn't have been wanted to be friends with me, right? 3 years ago, I would have been like, oh my God, kill her. Because it is, once you grow you grow your business, because we have a very interesting business model. Same product. I offer you the same product as Jana does, as anyone else does. Yeah, same business plan, same comp plan. You know, say I don't pay you. Juice Plus pays you. The head office pays you for the job that you do, right? For the people that you help and inspire. And we all have the same hours in the day. The only difference is, will someone follow you or will they follow me? Because that's what it comes down to. People are inspired by people. People are inspired by your story, from where you've come from to where you're going, and that vision and that mission. If people know where you're going and they want to jump on board, they're going to, right? But you can't go and do the how to until you have the goal, right? Every single month setting goals. I know Jana does so many goal charts. Take advantage of them, right? She sets goals. I set goals. You know, I used to do calls with her. She's good now. I do it sometimes, obviously, for bigger positions. We make a plan, right? And we just execute it until, right, the day comes where she hits it. Now, you know, so many times, especially, like, she kind of went on the same journey I did, right? From SSC to QNMD, I hit my head against a wall every day, like, oh my God. But if I just had the belief, like I had in the last 4 months that I got there, that, you know, it's just, you make a plan and a goal. And Jana had this, right? She made a plan, the goal, and definitely your belief could waver at times, but you snap yourself out of it, right? Because the why is there, the bigger mission is there, and you can hit yourself like, is this going to happen? Instead of like, you make the goal and it just like, it, you believe it until like you already see it as done, and then it's only a matter of time until it happens, right? Just like any of you, you might have a goal of SC or SDVF or qualifying your business or earning that extra $1,000. And I promise you it will come if you make the goal and you believe it. And building belief, it doesn't just happen once. It's something you work on. It's like a muscle. I don't go to the gym and I don't, you know, lose weight by doing one exercise. I wish, right? It happens over time. The best progress is slow progress. Now, in this business, you don't need to make slow progress because we've all gone before you and we've mapped it out, a pretty cool path to success, right? But progress is progress. And if you just believe it and you build the belief, you go to work on yourself, your belief in the program and the product, your belief in the company, right? By coming to conferences, by coming to big events. Yeah, I know that I can't really shake Jana's belief. I can't really shake Lindsay's belief. You know, the amazing bonds that they have with, you know, the likes of Lindy and Celine, and, you know, from coming to conferences, from meeting them, right? From literally like sitting in a room and going, wow, the company owners are just dead set real people. You know, by meeting us, by going, yep, these people are real. By building belief in the industry. You know, I've been to big events like GoPro in Vegas last year, 22,000 network marketers from around different companies, different parts of the world. You know, not everyone spoke English. It was crazy, you know, but I just went, wow. Yeah, Juice Plus was such a small contingency of that. But like, if you spoke on stage, you had to be a 7-figure earner, right? A 7-figure earner to be speaking on stage. And like, there was a lot of speakers, you know, some from Juice Plus, obviously Jeff Roberti spoke, but like that just like solidified my belief in this industry, you know. But what, you don't have to go and fly halfway across the world to do that. You know, watching things like Rise of the Entrepreneur, watching things like, there's a lot of documentaries on Netflix now, you know, about how the world's changing, you know, and it is something you really need to build belief in, because when someone tells you it's a pyramid scam, or like, oh, you're doing that, and Lindsay got a good one that she shared in our team chat, like, it's just like you can laugh it off because you're like, I feel sorry for you, right, that you don't get it. You know, and if you're sitting there without 110% belief that if someone came to you and go, do you do network marketing, would you get defensive? Right? Or would you be like, yeah, I do. What have you heard about it? Right? And I promise you, right, it's that conviction, that belief that draws people in to go, wow, right? When have you ever watched someone that is so passionate about what they do, that are so just in like alignment of what they do? You know, I always look back at sports players, you know, just, I can't look away. You know, when someone like my favorite, Roger Federer, right, he's just incredible. And when he's just like on fire and winning, it's just like you can't look away because it's so inspiring. And when you look at this business, when have you ever been inspired by, maybe it's been Emma Sneddon, maybe it's been Jana, maybe it's been Lindsay, maybe it's been Linda, maybe it's been me, Adam, Kira. You know, it's because they are passionate, but they're in alignment, and they're like, they're turned on and switched on and like know where they're going. They know where they're going. And that only comes from time, but it only comes from building that belief muscle of like, this is it. This is what I do. This is where I'm going. You're either going to join me or you're going to watch me, right? You pick. I don't care, right? I want to help you, and that's what people are inspired by. That's what people are inspired by. But like, this is where I'm going. You're jumping on the train, Lindsay, boom, you're jumping on the train, or you just get out of my way. No one could stop me. No one can stop me now. Definitely they can like push me over. That's okay, but I will get back up, and you've got to have that. But it only comes from time, by building belief in the company, the program, the product, yourself. And that's usually the hardest one, right? Usually self and industry get in everyone's way. They're not really aligned with what this is. They have some fear around the industry that we're in, instead of educating ourselves on like what an incredible industry it is, and then belief in ourselves. And that only comes from conditioning, bad relationships, you know, how we were raised, things we were told in school, right? It's all stacking effect on us, and yet we're just conditioned to it. So it's about breaking free from that. And if you have limiting beliefs and self-worth issues, then that's a journey you need to take in building that. And it only comes from time, right? But you have to want to work on it. You know, I've spent thousands upon thousands of dollars sometimes that I did not have, you know, on self-development, but I've always made it back tenfold, you know, tenfold in, because my business grew as I grew as a person. So let's recap, because I know I talk at like a million miles an hour. So why? You know, why are you here? Do you have that solidified, right? Is it selfish? Does it create emotion? Have you stuck an emotion to it, right? Because it's all well and good, like I said before, you know, people do things out of pain or pleasure. So many times we can be ruled by pain. So we want to get out of shitty situations. We want to, you know, get out of pain. Yet pain will only drive you and motivate you for so long, right? It truly is a very destructive journey, because I used to be on it. Like when I was in pain, I was fueled. I was like, yep, right? But when I was like, oh yeah, life's good, right? I would get lazy all of a sudden, you know, and this isn't in this business, this is in life. And I get lazy all of a sudden, I'd be like, oh my God, what happened to all that amazingness that I had, because there was no pain around associated to it. So if you're constantly running from pain and getting out of pain, painful financial situations, painful jobs, painful relationships, whatever it is, it only is going to last so long until that fuel runs out, because you'll get out of the pain, right? And then what? So you've got to be able to move towards pleasure in this business, being it, you know, in your lifestyle, in your finances, with your kids, in your relationships, whatever it is. Okay, so really understanding, do you have an emotion created by that why? Then the vision is bigger than you. Remember that. Then every single month, are you measuring what you're managing? So have you set your goals? And then to break goals down, we did the SMART goals, right? Specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, time bound. Every single month, then tracking and measuring it, not just once, not making the goal and going, okay, let's see if it happens, fingers crossed, right? Faith's a beggar, right? Faith and hope. No, you've got to have conviction, and you've got to be smart and tactful about it. You've got to use, what I don't like to use is logic, right, around it. So you've got to make the map, right? What's the map there? Then the how-tos, right, is being able to do the high-paying activities. So I like to schedule my day. I know it's very odd, but I schedule my day. So I won't actually, most of the time, touch my phone until 10:30 a.m. Okay, I've literally gotten up, you know, had a shower, sat, done nothing, meditated, you know, had a cup of tea, gone to PT, come home, had a shower, and then I'm ready to work. They're kind of my rituals for a successful day. Maybe it changes. Maybe it's a walk on the beach. It depends, Gold Coast weather. It's all dependent. But I PT 4 days a week, as in not me PTing, someone PTs me, poor guy. So 4 days a week, right, is PT. And then the other days I exercise in some form, whether it's go to the gym, whether it's, you know, that sets me up for a successful day. Now, how you set yourself up, you know, is going to determine the impact that you make during the day. So if you're getting up to an alarm clock, you're always running 10 minutes late, you know, the kids are a mess, the house is a mess, like it's just chaos, you're not going to feel grounded and be impactful and inspiring. You're always going to be like, oh my God, what do I have to do now? Oh my God, that, I forgot that. Oh my God, right? You're going to be in that like chaotic mayhem, and that's going to take your mind space. That's going to take your focus. You won't be able to focus on things in your business. You won't be able to focus and be the best version of you as a colleague, if you work, you know, as a boss, if you run the show, you know, as a mom, as a partner, whatever. So it's really, you know, important is how you start your day. And The Miracle Morning is a great read. You know, whether you like audio, whether you like to read, it is, that's my life right there. You've got to change it, right? That is all I can say to you, whether you need to get up earlier, you know, whether you need to set a strong routine. I hate mornings, right? I'm like, no, I don't want to get up at 5:30. Right? I have the pleasure. I know I don't have to now, but I have a rule that I'm up by like 6:30. But it really was, as a personal trainer, I couldn't get up any earlier. My alarm would go off at 10 to 4, and it was like, Jesus, get me out of here. But that was kind of fuel to why I wanted to leave. So I couldn't get up any earlier. So I just made it like that in the morning on the way to work. I listened to personal development, or I had my smoothie ready, right? I get it, right? It sucks. I had my smoothie ready in the fridge, ready to go. My breakfast was done. I literally had to get up. My uniform was already placed on the end of my bed. Like, I was all ready to go. So I didn't feel like I was always running behind the 8 ball. Then my focus and energy could be obviously on my clients, right? But then when the time came, I could focus energy onto the business, because I wasn't having to then go pick up the pieces of things that I hadn't done because I'd gotten up too late. And not every morning is perfect. I get it. But understand that, how you start your day is truly going to impact you as a person, but is going to impact your business 110%. So I'm not telling you how to run your life. I'm sharing from my experience what has worked for me, is having a set ritual in the morning. So whether those rituals, like for some people, it's like literally sitting in silence for 10 minutes, away from their children before they get up, whatever it is, having a cup of tea in silence, maybe it's meditating, maybe it's reading, maybe it's going for a walk, exercising, but having some set rituals in your day. Then you're going to have big rocks, right? And whether you utilize a paper schedule, whether you do Google schedule, iCal, whatever it might be that you use, find something that works for you. That is all I can say. Okay, obviously for me, unfortunately, it's paper, and I use my iCal sometimes. So find what works for you. Right, I like paper. I'm super old school like that. But the fact of the matter is, it doesn't always come with me when I'm out. And then you have your morning rituals. Then you have your big rocks. So it might be work, right? Kids, after school activities, doing the grocery shopping, all of those like non-negotiables that happen day in, day out, week in, week out, month in, month out. Right? Then you're going to set them up, because they're non-negotiables in your life. It might be story time that you just like, no, that's a non-negotiable, for my kids. Maybe it's, obviously after school sports, all that sort of stuff, gym time, being able to have time for you, date night, all of those things that keep your life alive, right? All of those non-negotiables. Then you're going to find pockets of time that you fill in with this business. Okay, so if you truly have the why and the vision, and you set the goals, and you have all of those pieces of the puzzle in place, then it's like, okay, in my lunch break at work, this is when I used to do it, right? My lunch break at work, or I used to do it at work sometimes. Adam Westwick used to pay me sometimes to build Juice Plus. Lucky he's my upline, he made money from it anyway, right? And maybe it was after work, which sucked because I was so tired. But I was just like, my why was strong enough that I was like, nope, I'm going to do it, right? This is the short-term pain is going to be for long-term pleasure, right? And then it was the 7 high-paying activities that I now have made. So the first is, are you building your network, whether it's out and about, whether it's via social media, whether it is in your workplace that you're building and networking. You have a network marketing business. If you're not building your network, you can't just market to the same network and hope and pray that you build a business. Like I said, hope and faith, you can have it, but it's not going to build a business. Determination, grit, consistency, resilience, and action are going to build your business every single day. Again, it's not what you do once, it's what you do 1,000 times over and over and over again. Network marketing, simple and boring. That's why everyone can do it. But I promise you, if you do it, you will become addicted because of the lives you can help change by changing your own life, right? And obviously from the life it can give you. It becomes addictive. I couldn't imagine my day without it. So networking. The second is talking to people, right? With focused energy, with focused action, not going and spamming people, not going and, just speaking about Juice Plus, but actually going and building trust, rapport, and relationships, going in to serve that person, learning about them, find their pain point, and maybe just maybe you might have something to offer them. Maybe if you ask enough good questions about them, that they'll, be like, so tell me about you. You're a mom. What else do you do? And you can share your story. I am a mom, I work part-time, but I also have this online business. I'm excited about it because, I really don't want to be working in my cleaning job. And, I really want to be able to create financial security through this business. I'm helping loads of moms and I love it, right? It's about creating curiosity, about talking to people, but it's not about spewing Juice Plus or thinking, when can I add Juice Plus in? When can I add the business in? It's about going in, building trust, rapport, relationships. It doesn't need to take weeks, months, and years. Speed of trust can happen like that. You think about any conversation you've had where you felt rapport, where you felt connected to that person. I do it all the time with checkout chicks, at Woolies, and I can build trust like that. But it doesn't come like that for me, and it doesn't. Lots of you can look to Adam and be like, the dude's smooth, he knows what to say, when to say it, but he's owned businesses for 15 years. It kind of comes with the territory, but I promise you, he wasn't like that in the beginning. Even in this business, with all of his background, he wasn't like that. He had to learn along the way, okay? And it only comes from repetition. Repetition equals, progress doesn't equal perfection. No, practice equals perfect. That's the saying, right? No, practice equals progress, which equals, right, happiness, because whenever you're feeling truly fulfilled in life, whenever you're, learning and growing, is when you feel fulfilled. So when you're out there going, having those doubtful moments, being in fear of what will people think of me, or what about if I stuff up, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and take action. And I promise you, it will take any doubt out. Even if you stuff up, you'll learn something. You'll learn, oh, that didn't work, or oh, yeah, stumbled over those words. How can I fix and refine it and then be better tomorrow? You're not going to become better tomorrow if you don't practice today. So really, honestly, people are rewarded for what they do in private. So they're rewarded in public for what they do in private. So many of you guys see, I do it. Obviously, every month I do awards, give out gifts, and people are like, why didn't I get it? And I'm just like, those people are the ones, I literally do it off stats on my reports. So, those people are the ones in action. So don't be discouraged or don't be disappointed for the results people don't get, for the work we just didn't do, or for the more work that person put in than I put in. So really, it is there for the taking, but it truly comes from taking action and progressing. Okay, it truly comes from going, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Mel Robbins, she's incredible. She actually spoke at GoPro last year, on the power of now, and really the power of just get outside your comfort zone. But again, people won't get outside their comfort zone unless they're in enough pain where they are. So if they're in enough pain, if you're in enough pain where you are right now, as opposed to getting outside your comfort zone, you'll do it. But if you're too comfortable in sitting in your safe zone, then you won't get outside your comfort zone and take that action. So having conversations is high-paying activity 2. 3 is following people up. No, it's not. It's literally, see, don't even know my own. It's sharing stories and building curiosity through either out and about, social media, whatever your avenue is. Obviously, mine has always been social media. Your social media, if you utilize it as a strategy, you have to build your network. 2% of your Facebook newsfeed will see what you do, and that's only if you interact with them, right? So 2% of my friends is a lot more than maybe 2% of your friends, right? If you only have 600 friends, I have 5,000. So 2% of my friends are only seeing what I do. So, you're not building your network and you're still having that small group of friends. You've got to expand. Your warm market should never dry up because you're always building it. Simon Chan told me that, and I was like, I get it, right? I get it. It should never dry up because you're always building it, always. And if you're just adding Juice Plus people, think about it, right? That's not a great warm market to have because they're either on the products or they're in the business, right? Obviously both. So really building your network strong. And then your social media, if you're utilizing that to share stories, it shouldn't look like a Juice Plus fan page. Look at the likes of Jana, Casey, Lindsay, all of those people that I watch on social media, especially, Jana and Lindsay have evolved on social media. Obviously, I have too. It's inviting, and they're sharing their lifestyle. And this business and this product and this program should weave into your life, not the other way around. You weren't Jana Juice Plus when you signed up to this business. I was not Lauren Berry Juice Plus, although it's kind of fitting, berry capsules, right? But we weren't Juice Plus, right? So why make it all about that? People are curious about what you're excited for. They're curious about what you're doing with your kids, what you're cooking, all those sorts of things. So you weave stories and benefits about this business, product, program, lifestyle through your life. Share your life, right? And the moment you become a neg ferret on Facebook, I promise you, is the moment your business takes a huge hit, because I've seen it happen, right? Be inspiring. That's what the world needs more of. Then it's following people up, is that fourth high-paying activity. Follow people up. The fortune's in the close, but you can't close someone until you follow them up. Okay, so following people up. If they've asked about a link, if they've asked about, what do you do, if you're having a conversation, if you've asked about products, program, whatever, you're not being pushy, you're being professional. Okay, if I was to call a gym and be like, hey, can you take me for a run through your programs? Can I have a list of your PTs and prices? Can I come and have a look at your facility? And they never called me back, or they never gave me the information, or they never followed me up, I'd go somewhere else. I'd go to another gym. I'd go to another personal trainer. Why? Because I've asked for a service. I've become curious. Your job is to be professional, right, and follow that person up. I follow someone up 24 to 48 hours later. If they don't get back to me, I do it another 24 to 48 hours later, right, utilizing my series of responses that I shared in Team Freestyle. So if you haven't seen that, go check it out. And honestly, it's then about just building more trust, building more rapport, and understanding that next, right? No one can get in the way of me and my dreams, okay, except me. So there is no one person that is going to determine your future and determine your success in this business except yourself. So don't go looking for that rock star and that one person. I promise you, 80% of your business will have 3 to 7 customers, and they're just as important, right? Love on those people just as much, but to be able to find the business builders, you got to keep having those conversations and talking to people and growing your network and all of those things. So following people up, events, right? I don't mean you have to go to every single event, but if you've got live events in your area, if you've got Zoom events that are there for the taking, which I know Jana does about 1 million, right? If you've got team trainings in your schedule, find times that can become non-negotiables. For me, Monday night training, right? Unless I'm out of the country, on the road, on an airplane, or on my deathbed sick, is I'm on Monday night team trainings. I'm even on the 7 p.m. one as well. Start strong, right? Now, do I learn something? Usually, right? Do I hear things the same but from someone different? Yes, but that just reiterates to me that we're on the right path, and I'll always learn something. I'll always hear something a different way, and then obviously the 8 p.m. training, and then finding 1 to 2 events, every week. Not only do you need the event, sometimes you need the inspiration, but sometimes that event needs you. It needs your face on there. It might need your story, and that's a moment, an opportunity to grow, to share, to be able to hold the pen. I know Jana doesn't want to hold the pen forever. I used to do, 1 million events a week like Jana as well. But obviously I taught Jana, I taught Marissa, I taught Katrina, I taught Jay. I taught all these people, and that's what this business is about, teaching. Pass the baton, right? And then who's she going to pass the baton to? Obviously, Linda. Called you Linda. Lindsay, that is a massive, sorry. So Lindsay, obviously does her event. She's learning, and then she's teaching other people. That's what this business is about. It's not about what we can do. It's about what we can teach other people to do, right? And be able to do that. So events. Find your non-negotiables, right? And if you're going to turn up to an event, invite someone to it. Invite 5 people, 10 people, maybe 1, 2, 3 will show up, right? If you've got a live event, I can't tell you, right, going down to Canberra, to Penrith, I've been to Victoria many times to do events, building that culture is something special, building that culture is something special. And, I love live events. Obviously, we have one every fortnight here now on the Gold Coast. It used to be every week. And I used to turn up and be like, Adam, it's you, me, Lorian, Anna, Linda, James, if he was home. You know, and it was like, really, is this like how it's going to be? And then it started to build, and it was that weekend that, or that week for the first 90-day game plan, if any of you were at, you know, that Olivia Charlotte Measures came over from the UK, you know, to it, and there were like 85 people in this lounge room, and finally we cracked it. We had to get a big superstar. No, I'm kidding. We did it the week before. So, you know, we built it, and now like we can field varsity. Some of you were at this this conference. You know, we filled an amphitheater. Like, it was nuts. I had to do the product, and I was like, I need a microphone. I can't hold the products. What is this? You know, it's crazy. So that can happen where you are too, but it's about turning up. You know, are you turning up to events? Are you inviting? Are you building that community and culture? And then customer care. Some of your best customers will come from giving great customer care. You know, they'll become amazing, either just referral, you know, based customers, or, you know, they'll become great team members because they love the product, they believe in it, and they want to share it. Some of you might or might know Denise Ambrose. She was a great customer of Joe Ross's. Now she's like a QNMD, like nearly 24 club. Like, she'll be an NMD soon. She's leaving a teaching career at the end of this term, 32 years of teaching. She was a customer first, like insane. Katie Ravey in the UK was a customer first. You know, Emma Sneddon was a customer first. You know, it's just crazy what can be achieved if you really love on people and with them. What's in it for them? With them, WIFM. Write that down. Every time you talk to someone, you know, it's not about what's in it for me. It's not about getting a new team member. It's not about getting a new customer. It's not about my promotion. Yes, I want all of that. That is all a goal. But it is about with them. What is in it for them? Okay, if you really, truly remember something tonight, remember that. That's truly all about relationship building. So hopefully that helps. Is there anything else I wanted to share? I don't think so.
Sorry, I was trying to get my whiffed right.
I think it's what's in it for them. So WITFM, something like that. Yeah. I don't know. It's a Linda acronym, right? So hopefully that made sense. Sorry, I usually have notes sitting there and I don't have them.
No, it was amazing. Thank you, Lauren. Girls, I couldn't watch the notes at the same time too. Was there any questions you might want Lauren to quickly do before we finish up? But I know like Lauren said, you always, doesn't matter how many times I listen to Lauren talk, I've written 3 pages of notes, and I'm sure some of you have written some notes as well. But has anyone got anything they want to ask while we've got
Hi, Chelsea. Hi, Chelsea.
No, you're all quiet.
I remember that face. Did anyone have any questions? If you're brand new, I'm sorry, I probably scared you. I get overly passionate because I'm one of those dolls where you wind me up and it's just like.
Oh no, Lauren's gone. Tamina's new. Tara's relatively new. Erin's relatively new. Alex is relatively new. Vanessa is there. Vanessa's right in the middle. There she is. So she's.
Will I be sending you? Is that Tara Thomas? Will I be sending you a present?
Yep. And Alex.
Yes.
And Alex and Casey.
Yeah. I think your awards were mainly our team this month. That was a bit exciting, as it has been the last couple of months.
You did awesome. Yeah, honestly, goals set. Obviously, Jana has that intact. I like to come and beat the drum. Obviously, that I beat every month. I think it's so important. Like, it's when I never set goals about anything, about health and fitness. I just want to lose weight. And it's like, no, I don't want to put a goal on it because what about if I fail? What about if I don't reach it? But then it's like, you have nothing to work towards, and this business is no different because it will take your time. It will take your energy. It will take time away from your kids or your husband, in the office, whatnot. So you need to know what you're working towards. And four. Like, as in what you're working towards, and 4.
You're saying 4 kilos? How do I unspotlight you so everyone's on the same time? Cancer spotlight. Don't know if that's going to make anything on self-belief. Yes, because there's been a few just recently that have really rated themselves really low on their self-belief. Lauren, anything you can suggest for them and going forward? I mean, obviously, Lindsay's big on her self-development and so forth, but and there's only so much you can do with all those different courses as well. But I just know coming into this business, that was definitely me.
I don't think you have to go and spend, loads of money. I had to. I did Mitch and Mills. So if you were at conference, they were the first course I ever did. And then obviously Lindsay does Mojo Master, who learnt, Michael Johnson learnt of Mitch. So, it's kind of like the same kind of stuff, except I liked Mojo Master because I was like, Mitch is like sometimes it's over my head. Oh my God, I'm going to kill myself. Self-belief is something that it's a personal journey. So your self-belief might be, stemmed from different things to mine. So it's not, it's going to get this out because it's stuck on a cord. It's not something that I can be like, read this book and your life will be cured. Like do this course and you won't need to worry. It's something that builds over time, but you have to go on your own journey and you have to want to. Right, self-belief. Like so many people, and this I could definitely ruffle some feathers by saying this, but so many people live in their shitty stories because it serves them. So you think about any human need. So we have 4, and I've done many videos on this, and I've probably cried. We have 4 like human needs, like base core needs: the need for certainty, the need for variety, the need for significance, and the need for love and connection. So say that you have a shitty story, like someone broke up with you, right? And this is me. This is my story. Like I had a terrible parting of the ways. If you like, yes, he has another free course. I love it. He always has free courses. So definitely go, like your life will be changed. Mastermind and Money is just incredible. The value you get for free. So, some of us have these shitty stories, but we hold on to them because they serve us. So they serve a certain need. Now, if you have something in your life, right? Now, think of any addiction. It could be overeating. It could be smoking. It could be drinking. It could be anything. I just think of addictions. They serve 3 needs. So you only need to serve 2 to 3 to be addicted. So are you addicted to your story, and is it serving a need, right? If it's serving 1, 2, 3 needs, you will be addicted without even knowing it, right? I used to tell this story over and over and over again. Most of you might have heard it, right? But to what extent? And it used to be my kind of safety blanket for everything. Why aren't you successful? Why aren't you traveling? Why did you gain weight? Right? All of these things. And it was like I served a need, this story, because I told it over and over again. It served my need for certainty, right? I was certain that I would get reactions from people. It served my need for significance. Every time I told it, people felt sorry for me. People would make me more significant than that person that did what he did, right? He didn't do it to me. Right, I reacted in a certain way. I can only have control about how I react to certain situations. He did what he did. He made a decision, right? And then it served my need for the love and connection. Because every time I told it, I got love from all types of people, right? Love and connection. I might not have got love, but I definitely got connection. So it became addictive. Now, without consciously understanding, of course I kept telling it. Because every time it was like tick, certainty, tick, significance, tick, right, love and connection. Then it just became a pattern that I couldn't break until I went and saw someone, right, who broke it for me in a very sudden way. And so you have to ask yourself, is the story, right, the self-belief story, is it that you have limiting beliefs about success? Is it that you feel unloved? Is it you don't feel worth it? You have to pick your story, and then you have to be like honest. Is it serving a need? Is it keeping you safe? Right. And then it's a journey that only you can take. I wish I could take it for you, right? I can take it with you to some extent, but it is your journey. So it is about accessing what you need to access, whether it is a course, relationships and you changed my life completely. I did that 4 years ago with Linda and James. I had just joined Juice Plus. Crazy. So that's why I've never put Linda on a pedestal, because I literally sat in that room and I'm like, oh my God, she's got as much shit as I do. Well, I'm like, we're all human, winning. And so you have to ask yourself, is your story serving you? And then it's only a journey you can take, unfortunately.
Brilliant. Oh, am I? Yep, I thought I was muted then. I do that all the time. Awesome. Anyone else got anything? No. Beautiful. Awesome.
In the chat. You don't have to come off mute, Gary. You can put it in the chat, or if you think of something and you want me to answer it, just put it in, give it to your leader, or put it in your team page. I'm in all team pages, so put it in your team page. I'll answer it. Anything?
Thank you, Laura's.
You're welcome.
Lauren, whatever. I can't even speak.
Night, Catherine.
Bye. Beautiful. Awesome. All right. I think, no, it's all just thank yous coming through, Lauren. So you're amazing. Thank you for jumping on. I just got home in time to get
Chelsea just got taken away.